Hi, I'm Wayne Hudson, and we're coming to you today from the Home of Grace again in Van Cleve, Mississippi. And we've got a great friend here with me today. Charlie, introduce yourself to these folks.
Charles Giuffrida, and I am from Louisiana, but living in Houston, Texas now. And it's great to be here.
Wow.
Good to see you.
And why are you here at the Home of Grace today?
I come every second Friday of the month and do chapel for the guys. And I just thought, despite the fact of living in Houston, Texas, I went to many lengths on the other side of the coin, and so God has given me the opportunity to come and share with these men and be a part of something that was so crucial in helping me.
Well, that's a long commute.
It is. It is.
It's a long drive. I've driven it quite a few times myself.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit about your journey through the Home of Grace?
You know, it was probably 28 years ago or 27 years ago. I came here the first time, and fortunately, I'll say, I did 3 or 4 more stints through here. I didn't stay and graduate every time, but
so there's something to be said for finishing the program, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
We emphasize that here with every client that comes to the Home of Grace, that you can have success if you don't finish the program, but it's rare. It's rare. It's just something about completing the program in its entirety.
Right.
And we never know where that little nugget is going to be, where God has hidden that nugget from us that He expects us to really dig deep for. It can be in that last week, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's so true. I was here, it's a 12-week program, and at 8 weeks I could quote scripture and I could lead a man to salvation, and you know, I knew all the stuff in my head. And I sat in that chapel down there, and a gentleman named Houston Cunningham was preaching a revival, and all of a sudden everything just seemed to get really quiet on me, and I realized that I had a hard time believing in God. Is God really created all this? And I talked to him as he was real for the first time, not a 911 call, but I said, God, you know, these people are telling me you love me and you'll forgive me for everything I ever did. And if that's true, I said, Lord, prove to me you're real. Sitting in that chapel, and God told me, and I heard this. This is the first time I ever heard God really speak to me. He said, Charlie, he said, I brought you here. And I looked around, and I had a bed to sleep in, and some of my family was actually writing me a letter again, and I was healthy. And I said, man, you do love me. You do. And I just right there, I said, okay. I said, I give it up best as I know how. Take this thing over. And I wish I could say everything was smooth sailing from then on, but it sure got a lot better having my little hand in His big hand.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you had some direction.
I did, yeah.
And before that, it was like you're looking here, looking there, and everywhere for answers. But now you were introduced to the Master.
Amen.
And the Master met you at the Home of Grace. There's an awful lot of that happens. And this is a place that we say, a place where miracles happen. And Charlie, you're a miracle of the Home of Grace, but mostly you're a miracle in that you had an encounter with Jesus Christ.
Amen.
What would you say to someone who is out there right now? Maybe they're struggling in their addiction and they're looking for answers. What would you say to that person?
First, I would say is you never give up, that you and God are a majority in any situation. And there's a scripture that tells me that nothing separates me from the love of God. And I just have had to cling on to that and hold on to that, because despite my mistakes in the past, I received God's forgiveness. And I'd say to that person, give it a try. lock on to God and give Him a try. And if you'll really give your heart to Him, it's not a bunch of do's and don'ts. We don't act good so God will love us. We act good because He loves us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I would say. You don't give up. Put your hand in His and start from right there.
There's one more question I want to ask before we end this interview.
All right.
What about the man who says, I'm not worthy of what God has to offer?
God doesn't make no junk. And He made each person to be exactly who we are, not somebody else. But we're never who we really were supposed to be until we add Him to the creation, to us. And because I felt that way many times.
Unworthy.
And that I was just junk, and I really even thought at times I wish this was over.
Well, the reality is, none of us are really worthy.
Amen.
But it's His grace and mercy that reaches down and says, yeah, but you're my son.
Boy, that's so true. That's good.
Charlie, thank you so much.
Man, it's a pleasure,
coming
brother.
And
Thank
being
you.
a part of what we do here at the Home of Grace with a cup of grace. And I know our guys are going to enjoy listening to you at chapel tonight.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed talking to them.
Me too. You folks back home, thank you for being a part of Cup of Grace today. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time.